WHCS Channel 29 presents Peninsula District Boys High School Basketball. The Bethel Bruins hosting the Hampton Crabbers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. We are here at the Bruins Den on the campus of Bethel High School for the game between the Bethel Bruins and the Hampton Crabbers. There you see some of the crowd. And we are going to have the national anthem sung at the center of the court. So we'll join us now, please.
Tim.
And I wish we had the names of those young men so we could pass them on to you. Unfortunately, we were caught somewhat surprised by that particular event.
Right. Normally what happens is they will play a record or something.
Okay, we're going to have the announcements and the starting lineup, so join us, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hampton entered tonight's game with a record of 11-2. Bethel is 5-8. And now tonight's starting lineup. First for Hampton, at guard, number 12, a senior, Aaron Johnson. And for Bethel, also number 12, guard, a sophomore, Peter Barner. The other guard for Hampton, number 20, a junior, Kevin Swan. Bethel's counters with number 22, senior guard, Kennedy Bland. One forward for the Crabbers, a junior, number 22, Cedric Williams. For Bethel, number 42, a sophomore forward, Corey Stewart. Another forward for the Crabbers, number 53, senior, Farouk Harris.
I like that name,
Bethel
Tim.
counters with number 21, sophomore forward, Craig Rainey. Lastly for Hampton, at center, number 42, a senior, John Scott. And for Bethel, a junior center, number 33, Chris Jackson.
John Scott, of course, the last Hampton Crabber to be announced as one of the starters. He had a great night against Phoebus the other night, had 26 points at career high. And he's done a super job in that ball game for the Crabbers.
Well, he sure did. In fact, we got to interview him at the end of the ball game. This will be an interesting contest. Hampton Crabbers, as you know, Tim, from last Tuesday night, like to move the ball up and down. There's the officials. Calvin Thomas is referee, and
that's him with the ball.
Davis is the umpire. Anyway, Hampton will like to play an up-tempo game, and the Bruins will try to do a more slow the tempo down and control the ball and get a good shot and work it around a little more. Both of these teams played in tournaments during the Christmas. Bethel Bruins got a chance to go down to Tallahassee and play in the 38th annual Governor's Cup down there. Ended up in 4th place, and there was a couple teams that were nationally ranked in that game. And of course, the Hampton Crabbers went out to the Fort Eustis Christmas tournament and won their division. So they both had some good experience during the Christmas break, Tim.
All right, the Bruins coached by Mike Bailey. The Crabbers by Walter Brower. We're just about set to go, as for the Crabbers, that'll be John Scott. He'll be jumping against his like number Corey Stewart. And contact made. The ball goes out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Crabbers. Rex Davis, the umpire, inbounds the ball, or gives it at least to the player for inbounding.
Well, Bethel is playing a man-to-man, and they're going to do some jump switching out here, which is a surprise. That's something you expect the Hampton Crabbers to do. And, of course, Hampton turned the ball right over, and that's what Bethel wants to do. Mike Bailey told me, he says, we may change a little bit. We may come out and play a man-to-man and do some jump switching. And, of course, now Hampton's in a full-court trapping zone.
And 5-second violation. I wondered if they would ever. No, a 10-second violation.
Right. Well,
either one.
That's an excellent play that Hampton did. They trapped him right across the half-court line, so it's like 3 defenders.
No score, just underway from the Bruins den. Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. Always a big rivalry. 3-point attempt by Schwann is off. Rebounded by the Crabbers. Schwann will chase it down. He's double teamed, gets it in the corner. Scott feeds the baseline back for Schwann. No good. Baruch Harris rebounds, got the ball, and then we've got a foul.
Well, evidently that looked like a foul prior to the game, but I'll tell you, both of these teams are going to be out there hustling tonight. We saw an excellent game the first quarter and a half with the Phoebus and Hampton the other night, Tim, and this looks like it's going to be a barn burner too as far as excitement.
Kennedy Bland is charged with a personal foul for the Bruins. Crabbers will inbounds. Williams to Baruch Harris, has it knocked away, gets it back. Aaron Johnson, Williams, Schwann. Schwann guarded by Bland. Jumper from the corner, good. Aaron Johnson gets in the score column for the Crabbers. They lead 2-0. Crabbers pressing full court. Bruins break the press.
Excellent job of going to the basket after breaking the press.
Corey Stewart connects, and we're tied at 2.
Well, Bethel is starting 3 sophomores out there, Tim, so they're going to, 3 of these young men they're going to have for 2 more years. Coach Mike Bailey was telling me earlier today that he hopes by the end of the season they're playing like sophomores, but they're playing like juniors with the experience they got down there at the Florida tournament.
Craig Rainey got the ball, and John Scott got Craig Rainey, so that's Scott's first personal foul. The team's first, and it'll be a possession foul. Inbounding will be Chris Jackson, number 33. Peter Barner will bring the ball up. Jackson and Barner play catch. Bethel moves the ball around very quickly. Jackson on the rebound, turn around, put it up, no good, tip no good, and finally John Scott gets the rebound for the Crabbers.
Well, Bethel did a good job of trying to tip the ball in against a much taller team.
From 3-point range, no good, but we've got a whistle inside. This one was away from the ball.
Looked like it was on number 22, Cedric Williams. He's a small young man trying to get underneath the trees and trying to get some position. And that looks like it was happening that time.
That's his first, the team's second. Again, player control foul. Strong move to the bucket. Again, Corey Stewart has that tremendous leaping ability. He really gets up off the floor.
He really does, Tim, and he gets the ball. He sees that lane open. He goes right towards the basket.
Oh, nice feed. Schwann will get the assist, and the bucket will be gotten by Cedric Williams. Good play.
Anytime you play a trapping man-to-man like that and you trap double team out of it, there's going to be an open man somewhere. The key is to know where he is and find him. And Hampton did a good job that time. They got 3-on-1.
Schwann pulls up, can't get it to go, but a nice tip by Baruch Harris.
There's that Harris. I like Harris. I like that name. He sounds like a ball player, doesn't he?
Really does. Underneath, good feed. Basket counts and a foul.
Excellent pass from number 21, Craig Rainey that time, Tim. chance for a three-point opportunity here. The basket counts. The foul's on number 22 for the Crabbers.
Cedric Williams.
Cedric Williams, I believe, isn't it?
That's his second. John Scott will come out of the ball game for the Crabbers. And he'll be replaced by Eric Hunter, number 44. Kennedy Bland has 2 with a chance for the three-point play. Off the front of the rim, the rebound comes out for Corey Stewart, and he is perfect. 3 for 3. Bethel by 2, 8-6. Kevin Schwann. Feed it off and give the basket to Ronnie Blackman, number 32. Drive the baseline, power move, no good. Put it back in.
Hey, I'm really impressed with Corey Stewart on the offensive board, Jim. He's just doing an excellent job going towards the basketball and putting that ball back in. He's got to have at least 8 points already.
He's got 8 of the 10. The Bruins by 2. Top of the key, Harris kicks it out. Inside move, power move. Hunter puts it up, the one-hand hook. Eric Hunter gets in the column, 10-10. Got a baseline violation that'll belong to the Crabbers.
Much faster paced game than the first contest we did tonight, Jim.
Double team in the backcourt. Kevin Schwann gets it over the timeline. Ronnie Blackman. Eric Hunter, and bodies go down. A blocking foul.
That was quite a pass, behind the back pass there to set that play up.
Chris Jackson is slow to get up for the Bruins.
Well, I'd like to see a replay on that. It looked like to me the young man was set. Of course, you and I know that officiating basketball is tough because it is a very fast-paced game out there, and they have a split second to make a decision on whether that's a charge or a blocking foul. And I'm not arguing with the officials. To me, he looked like he was set. Of course, he's in a better position to look for that than I am.
Toughest call in basketball. Was it a pick, or rather was it a block, or was it a charge? Never can tell. I've seen the replays over and over, and you still can't tell some of the time. And these, like you said, these fellas have got to decide right now. They don't have time to think about it.
They can't think about it. You're right, Tim.
10-10, 3:25 remaining in the first quarter. 4 8-minute quarters. Hunter 0 for 1, and we've got a lane violation. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. It didn't go in, but the ball will go over to the Bruins. Eric Hunter crossed the free throw line before the ball hit the rim. You can't do that.
That's correct. Fans that are watching this ball game, Tim, this game will be replayed Monday and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. and Thursday morning at 9 a.m.
Right here on Channel 29. Jackson covered like a blanket by Hunter. Feed it off, bank it up, no good. John Scott with an emphatic rebound. Ronnie Blackman, double teamed, the ball comes loose. And Eric Hunter has it. He's also in the lane. And that's what they're going to call.
That might have been a good break for the Hampton Crabbers because they had a breakaway. The Bethel had a breakaway for an easy snowbird that time, but there was a 3-second violation because that young man was in the lane a long time.
Bruins with the score tied. Peter Barner guarded closely, finally gets it off. Off the glass and no good. John Scott gets the rebound out quickly for Kevin Schwann. Good job to save the ball. Gets it back to Hunter. Hunter will try that hook again. It doesn't go. And Jackson.
I tell you, I was impressed with Kevin Schwann. He went up, got that ball, and then looked and found an open Crabber. In fact, he found 2 of them.
Ball knocked out of bounds. It should belong and does to the Bruins. There you see Calvin Thomas, the referee for tonight's game. We had the pleasure of having him do the game Tuesday night with the Phantoms and the Crabbers. kind of kidding him about that spill he took in that game.
He didn't believe I talked about it. I said, oh, he endured that pain and continued to officiate out there.
Bruins move the ball around. 3-point shot, good. Peter Barner gets in the score column, does it big time with a 3-pointer, and it's a 3-point Bethel lead. Good move to the baseline, put it up, it's no good. Jackson with the rebound.
Bethel does a good job of passing that ball.
Drive the lane, no good. Jackson rebounds, puts it up, no good. And out of the pack.
They're just out hustling the Crabbers, Tim, underneath that offensive board. They're just really out hustling them.
And they rule the ball belongs to the Crabbers.
We noticed in that first game that we did with the Crabbers that they played rather even with Phoebus. In fact, we were trailed at the first quarter and a part of the second quarter, and then they came back and just really did an outstanding job.
Oh my, we almost had a massive bodies here crashing into us.
Right, Tim, I was looking at, they were running towards you. They weren't at me. The reason there was a violation is in high school basketball, you got 5 seconds to get the ball in, but it's got to touch somebody in 5 seconds. Where the pros, you just got to throw it in 5 seconds. You don't have to touch anybody.
10-footer, nice play. Ronnie Blackman has 2 baskets. 1-point Bethel lead, 13-12.
We saw this the other night, how quick the Hampton Crabbers are. They play tenacious defense, and they're running into a team tonight in the Bethel Bruins that also playing a very quick man-to-man, all over the court type defense.
Bruins by a point. Barner, his pass goes off the hands of Manfred Mooney, who just checked in for the Bruins, and the Crabbers will take over.
We got some new faces in there for the Bruins, Tim. Number 24 is new for the Bruins too, and that's Robert Swadley.
Jackson with another rebound. 40 seconds to go in the quarter. And a foul, a blocking foul. This one, Ronnie Blackman's first, the team's 4th. Again, a player control foul. Bethel will have Kennedy Bland come back in the ball game. He'll replace Peter Barner. Crabbers have another substitution coming in as well. That'll be Eric Hunter coming back in for the Crabbers. And he will give a breather to Ronnie Blackman. 37 seconds, 13-12 is our score. This is Swadley. Swadley has it tipped away by John Scott. This is Schwann. Good block. Manfred Mooney really did a good job on the block, going for the jam.
That was an excellent defensive play down at the other end, because it sure looked like it was going to be a 2-point for the Crabbers, but the people on this side of the court were yelling foul, Tim.
Kennedy Bland got that semi-jam shot. 3-point lead for the Bruins. Kevin Schwann off balance, won't go, and the time has elapsed here in the first quarter. And we've played 8 minutes. The Bethel Bruins, and much like the game we saw the other night, the Phoebus Phantoms came out and gave Hampton a real tussle for the first quarter.
Well, they really did, Tim, and tonight I'm seeing a different team than what we were led to believe, that they would walk the ball up and play half-court offense. They're playing full court, all 90 feet of it. They're pressing, they're running the ball when they can run it, they're stealing the ball, they're very active. As I said, they kind of mirror what Hampton has been doing all year. Hampton has been able to do it because they're not only very quick, but they're also very big. But we have noticed now, we haven't kept the rebound statistics, but the Bethel Bruins have got to have at least 8 to 10 rebounds under their own basket. Now they're not connected every time they've got a rebound, but that shows you a lot of hustle, Tim. And the Hampton Crabbers are a bigger team than the Bethel Bruins, but the Bruins are doing a tremendous job of jumping.
I don't know how much bigger they might be. Because the Bruins have got a pretty good sized team on the floor. Sophomore Corey Stewart is 6'6". Chris Jackson is 6'7", so they pretty well match up. Jumper no good, and inside we have a whistle. Swadley got the rebound, and he was fouled.
Well, Tim, I was telling you, you had asked me earlier if I could remember any of the ball players that I coached. Number 21, where is his name? 21 for the Bruins. That's Craig Rainey. His brother Sylvester Rainey was the oldest of the Rainey boys. Played on my team when I coached back here in the late 70s. But when he pulled up here to get the ball out of bounds, he looks just like his brother, so I knew it had to be Rainey.
John Scott comes out of the ball game. Scott has yet to score for the Crabbers. He led them the other night with 26 points. Swadley 0 for 2 at the free throw line. Johnson to Schwann to Hunter. Hunter looks for an open man. Knocked away by the Bruins. Schwann will move it in now. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. 3-point lead for the Bruins. Hunter at the top of the key. And a whistle.
They got a 3-second call on number 52 for the Crabbers. Baruch Harris was caught staying in the lane. Hampton just looks a little out of sync to pass the ball back and forth at the guards, and they're not moving the ball inside. And of course, they're not letting the guards set up for the 3-point shots because the Hampton guards have green lights to shoot that 3-pointer, Tim.
Garner feeds Swadley on the baseline. It doesn't go. Good position inside by Baruch Harris for the Crabbers. You know, of course, anytime Bethel and Hampton play, you've got to throw the records out the window.
Well, you're right there, Tim, because we saw that in football, and it's the same thing in basketball.
Whistle inside. I believe the call will be against Robert Jones, number 50.
And that should be a bonus situation, so it should put him at the foul line, Tim. Yeah, it is. It's a 1-and-1. There is a nice crowd here tonight on both sides of the stadium. We've got almost a packed house here tonight, and this is what boys and girls basketball is all about, getting the fans out to see some good contests.
Bonus is coming for Corey Stewart. Stewart now has 9 points. He got 8 points real quickly in the first quarter as he was getting those rebounds underneath the basket and putting them in, those offensive rebounds. Ball tipped out. Whoa, look out. Must be a wet spot on the floor there. Let's wipe that up. That's so dangerous. Ronnie Blackman almost took a nasty spill there. He may have twisted his ankle just a little bit. As you know, you get a little perspiration on the floor and you come down going about 100 miles an hour like that. It can really be dangerous.
He tried to stop on a dime, but his feet kept right on going, Tim. But you'd see the score, 16-12 with 6:50 to go in the first half. Here at the Den.
Swadley inbounds to Barner. That's Manfred Mooney. Inside it goes. Turnaround jumper, no good. And Stewart finally misses one. Baruch Harris will pull up from 10. Robert Jones in there and a whistle. And we've got a foul on Barner. Peter Barner called for his first. That's the team's third.
And that is not a 1-on-1 situation. He fouled him before he went up for the shot, Tim. So that will be a ball out of bounds on the side for the Crabbers.
4-point lead for the Bruins. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and A.G. Womble coming to you from the Bethel High School Gymnasium. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. It's been a good one so far. Baruch Harris spins, puts up the one-hander. Yes.
Nice move, nice move. He felt the defense defensive pressure and just spun back the other way and put up a nice off one, about an 8-foot jumper.
Harris with 4 points. It's a 2-point Bethel lead. From 3-point country, Barner's shot is no good, and the Crabbers want to bring it down quickly. Move the ball around, and Baruch Harris with the easy layup.
Well, that's one thing that they weren't doing the first, is making a fake. And they're faking, and the Bethel Bruins are going up in the air, and then they're moving to the basket and getting an easy jumper.
Tied at 16. Swadley gets the good bounce. So
that ball was actually tipped on the inbound in the pass, the entry pass, and bounded right back to Swadley for the 2. And here's an answer for 2 from Ronnie Blackman.
Ronnie Blackman with his 3rd basket. Tied at 18. Oddly enough, the Crabbers are in the ball game, and their leading scorer, Kevin Schwann, has yet to score. Double teamed on the baseline. It goes in for Swadley, and he is fouled.
It looks like it's on Robert Jones again, Tim, number 50 for the Crabbers.
And again, as you mentioned, that's the bonus time. Jackson is coming back in for the Bruins along with Craig Rainey, checking out. They'll bring Jackson in after Swadley shoots, since he is the man he's replacing. Paul Blackman comes back in for the Crabbers. Swadley 1 for 3, but the rebound comes out to his teammate. And we got a traveling call. So Kennedy Bland dragged the foot. Now Jackson will come in for Swadley. We've got Peter Barner and Craig Rainey, the guards. Kennedy Bland and Corey Stewart, the forwards, and the center is Jackson for the Bruins. Tied at 18. Robert Jones alone under the basket, has it partially blocked.
They waited too long for the shot, and they really waited too long to get that entry pass in, Tim, because he was open underneath the basket virtually by himself. When you double team, if you can move that ball around the perimeter real quick, you're going to find somebody on the basket wide open, which the Crabbers did, but they waited too long to get him the ball, and then after he got the ball, he kind of hesitated. Number 24.
Gannon Baker comes in the ball game, and he'll replace Kevin Schwann. Schwann checks out, has yet to score. And you'd have to go back a while and figure out how long it took Kevin Schwann to score like this before. Normally, midway through the second quarter, he's got something on the board.
Yeah, he's the leading scorer on the Crabbers, and one of the leading scorers in the district, if I'm not mistaken.
We're tied at 18, a little more than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Crabbers and the Bruins locked up at the Bruins' den. Gannon Baker's pass to Jones goes off his foot, out of bounds.
That was an excellent pass coming inside, just a little low for Jones to hang on to, but it was a good idea. And we noticed the other night that Baker does a good job of passing that ball, Tim.
Gannon Baker, who's playing with a tender ankle. Baseline drive, ball is knocked away and retrieved by the Crabbers. So they're playing a little give and go here between themselves. Move to the bucket, it's good. Craig Rainey gets 2, and the Bruins grab a 2-point lead. Baseline jumper, John Scott, no. Jones with good position, he'll put up a arching shot. Scott, yes, no, the basket not count. Offensive foul charged against Scott. So not only do they lose possession of the ball, but they lose the... John Scott.
The crowd on this side didn't like that call at all, Tim. And that's why I wish we had the instant replay. We could show that, because I didn't see it either. I'm sure that it was there, but I wasn't looking for it. And of course, Calvin Thomas was right underneath the basket, had a very good view of that.
course, you didn't expect the Crabbers side to like that shot, that play no matter what. Right or wrong. There you see Barner.
That's his second three-pointer, Tim.
So Barner makes it a 5-point Bethel lead. 3 minutes exactly remaining in the half. Baseline jumper, Hicks kicks out, and the Bruins have it with a 5-point lead. Those of you familiar with pro and college ball, of course, you know they have a shot clock. High school has not established a shot clock.
Well, they wouldn't need one out here tonight because the 25-second clock would be non-existent. These two teams are not, they're getting down the court and firing that ball up within 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds down.
Good feed for Jackson. Chris Jackson jams it home. Kevin Schwann back in the ball game. 3-point attempt, no good. Baruch Harris has it knocked out of bounds. It belongs to the Crabbers. Barner touched it last.
I'll tell you what, the Hampton Crabbers have got their hands full now because Bethel Bruins are playing with a lot of confidence. An awful lot of confidence.
Chris Jackson is charged with his second personal foul.
And this is one thing that Coach Mike Bailey was talking about earlier today, Tim, was he said what you have to do is to teach these people to think like a guard. That when you're double teamed, that means that there are now 3 guard and 4, so somebody's open somewhere. You got to know that and know what kind of a press is in and where the open man will be. And Bethel's doing a good job against this Hampton press.
Eric Hunter. Hunter has 4 points, and it's a 5-point Bethel lead. 25-20, 2:15 to go in the first half.
The first time these two teams played, Hampton won by 5, Tim, so it's going to be a close game right down to the end of the game.
And we've got a foul, and this one's charged to Aaron Johnson, number 12 for the Crabbers. That's his first. Hampton over the limit, as both teams are at this point. Craig Rainey will be at the free throw line. Bruins must feel like they're coming out of the pan into the fire. They played Denby the other night and got beaten 68-53, and then turned around to play the number 2 team in the district, the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, that's for sure. And the coach told me that they should have won that game. They really should have won it. I was getting ready to say AG is standing down there next to the cheerleaders, so we may have them as our halftime guests, either that or Coach Kozlowski. One of the two AG is going to try to get a hold of.
Second shot, no good. The Crabbers will bring it up, trailing by 6. Schwann gives to Baruch Harris. Harris penetrates, and we've got, a blocking foul. Tough call. Corey Stewart charged with his first. That's the team's 5th. Toughest call in basketball. I don't care who you're pulling for and who's playing. That's always the toughest call.
It is a tough call, and of course, you're going to want your team to come out ahead. I don't care if it's a block or a charge, and that is a tough call.
Baruch Harris at the free throw line. He's got 6 points. Make that 7, and he'll get the second shot. Crabbers trailing by 5. (26-21). Man-to-man, full court pressure applied by the Crabbers. It's knocked away. The Crabbers have got it. Lead pass, good block, but a little contact on the play.
Well, that was an excellent pass to get the ball to Kevin. I'll check that number 12 for the Crabbers, Aaron Johnson. So I thought it was a clean block, and he probably got all ball, but when he came down, he actually made contact too, and that's where the foul originated from, Tim. But both of these teams are out here hustling. Right now, the Crabbers are being out hustled.
Crabbers have a chance to slice that lead to 3 here. 2 shots coming. Aaron Johnson has 2 points on the ball game, and he's off the mark on the first.
He needs to put a little more arc on that ball, Tim, and he'll make them. He's shooting a little too flat.
Second one is good. Now, what's the call? We got a foul? What was the call, Bob? Did you pick that up?
There was a foul. The basket was good, and he called a foul on one of the Bethel Bruins, and I'm not sure which one it was called on. But that could be a big play because that gives them 2 more chances at the foul line.
Swadley, I believe, is who the PA announcer charged with the foul. So Eric Hunter now at the free throw line. Chance to cut that lead again. He's no good on the first of the 1-and-1. So 4 points is our difference.
Well, Hampton shot much better from the foul line against Phoebus than they are here tonight, Tim.
Minute 27. Inside for Jackson. He's fouled, and he'll get 2 shots. And Baruch Harris will get his first foul of the ball game. Chris Jackson has 2 points. A minute and 23 remaining in the first half. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. We'll have another ball game that we'll be doing before very long on the 9th of February. We will be at Kickintan for the game between the Warriors and the Phantoms of Phoebus. Chris Jackson good on the first. A couple of substitutions. Mooney and Barner come in for the Bruins. Probably going to have to get somebody out of there. Let's see, they've got him out.
No, Swadley's coming in for the shooter, number 33, Chris Jackson, who he's coming in for.
27-22, Bruins by 5, make that 6. Chris Jackson comes out of the ball game. He's got 4 points. 6-point lead for the Bruins.
Well, Hampton, Bethel is picking them up at half court now, not going full court. They're picking them up at half court. But he's still playing that man-to-man.
Hey, Mike, get this up.
Johnson on the baseline, tough shot. Swadley with the rebound. Crabbers 11-2 on the season. Bethel not nearly as illustrious a record at 5-8. But they're outplaying and out-hustling and outscoring the Crabbers at this point. Barner, guarded closely by Kevin Swan, held scoreless here in the first half.
Kevin has just not had many opportunities to shoot the ball.
Manfred Mooney connects for 2, and it's an 8-point Bethel lead. 30 seconds remain. Inside, Baruch Harris pumps, fakes, shoots, yes. Baruch Harris with 9 points unofficially in the first half, a 6-point game. 17 seconds. The Bruins hope for a last shot, and a foul is charged on number 14, Paul Blackman of the Crabbers. Had a death grip on his wrist there. The referee had to call it. He almost pulled him into the nickel seats.
He was pulling his arm out of the socket, Tim. He really was.
Manfred Mooney at the free throw line with 2 points at this point. And it kicks off the heel. Swadley gets the rebound. Too strong, gets his own rebound, and he puts it up, and he's fouled. And this will be charged to Blackman, and then we've got a technical foul.
And they called a technical foul on number 50 for slamming that ball down on the deck. He didn't think he'd made the foul, and he grabbed the ball and slammed it down. Of course, Calvin Thomas, the umpire there, or referee, which one he is, but whatever, he called the foul. That was a good call, because that was definitely a temper tantrum, and you can't do that.
They've charged the technical to Baruch Harris.
What we're going to have here is Wadley's going to go up and shoot a 1-and-1. Bethel will get a 2-shot foul plus the ball out of bounds. This could be a 6 points swing right here, Tim.
Swadley connects on the first.
That's the hardest time to make a basket from free throws, when you're out there by yourself and nobody else is around you on the line or anything.
Paul Blackman was charged with the original foul. Baruch Harris took exception to it, slammed the ball down, and a technical foul was called against him. And now Peter Barner, who has 6 points on 2 3-pointers, will go to the free throw line, and he'll have 2 shots, as you mentioned. A chance to stretch this to a 10-point lead if he's good on both.
You'll notice one thing about good free throw shooters, he will do exactly the same thing every time he gets the ball. He will spin the ball, pat it, take a deep breath, and then bounce it about 3 times. Set, and then shoot the ball. He does the same thing every time, Tim, and that's what makes a good foul shooter.
So the Bruins capitalize on the play. They get 4 points, and they have the ball with just 11 seconds. They've got a 10-point lead, and a chance to make it 12 here with seconds remaining. 8 seconds. Inside move, turnaround jumper, yes. Long desperation shot at the buzzer.
They got all 6 of those points, Tim, and that's big, because that took them from a, what was that, a 6-point lead to a 12-point lead. And we got A.G. Womble over on the side, Tim. He's getting ready to talk to Dennis Kozlowski.
All right, A.G., go ahead. Take it away.
All right, Coach Koz, have to be pleased with a 12-point lead at halftime against one of the top teams in the district.
Well, our young men are playing very well tonight, really being patient, taking the good shots. And when you can get 4 and 5 shots under the basket, just as we did here in this last segment, they're the kind of things you have to beat this well-drilled Hampton team.
Okay, we're up by 12 at halftime. What type second half do you expect, Coach?
Well, hopefully, we're going to play as consistently in the second half as we did here in the first half. But, I've seen our team play, and we've been in some really close, exciting ball games. And for some unforeseen reason, we get down to the last few minutes, and what happens is we just end up making some mistakes, and maybe we're going to break that tonight. I hope so.
All right, Tim and Bob, as you know, Coach Koz, not only the football coach, but the athletic director, the overall athletic program here, Koz, at Bethel High School. You have to be happy with the season this year.
Well, we're very pleased. We're making strides in all our programs, and we added gymnastics this year to our program, and we've got about 5 or 6 girls out for it. We're hoping to get more. Our girls athletic program in all sports, tennis, girls basketball, swimming, and outdoor track and softball are doing very well. Perennially, we've been in the top in those sports. So we're really making progress and hope to continue.
All right, good luck the rest of the season, Coach. Great to see this big crowd out here tonight.
Oh, I like that too.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Tim and Bob.
All right, A.G., thank you. We are at halftime, and the upset in the making. The Crabbers 11-2, the Bruins 5-8, but the Bruins are playing like they're 11-2, and the Crabbers are playing like they're 5-8.
That's the truth. I tell you, the Bethel Bruins are just out hustling the Crabbers all over the court, but basically they're killing them on the boards. They're getting more offensive rebounds, more shots, more second times with the ball going to the basket, and you give them that many tries, Tim, you're going to end up getting the points. And I'm real pleased with the way the Bethel is playing tonight. Of course, I know the Crabbers are.
All right, spoken like a former coach at Bethel High School, the Crabbers, no scoring from Kevin Swan and John Scott. They've got to have that to get back in this ball game. We'll be back with the second half of action. Hope you'll stay tuned. We'll be right back here on Channel 29 after this brief timeout.
That was excellent.
We will get the cheerleaders next time out.
Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. We're back here at halftime, just about set to go as the teams have returned to the floor. Your comments on the first half, A.G.?
Well, I talked to Coach Bailey just prior to the game. He said that if they played their game, they could stay with the Crabbers tonight, and obviously 12 points ahead, they are staying with the Crabbers so far.
A.G., I remember him telling to you also that they would kind of walk the ball and play a slow tempo. They're not playing a slow tempo out here tonight. They are actually dictating the tempo and have really taken Hampton out of their ball game, I believe.
No question about it, and that 6-point turnaround with that technical right at the end of the first half hurt the Crabbers.
We were talking about that earlier, and you and I both agree, that, and Tim also, that was a deserved technical. You can't slam the ball and show emotion like that on a referee's call.
No question about it. Tim, you guys are doing a great job. Let's have a good second half here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Well, I know that the man will have some girls to talk to at the first break.
The Crabber cheerleaders have requested the first vacant spot.
They've requested.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll get them in. All right, we're set to go. Again, the big story for the Crabbers in the first half has to be the fact that their two big scorers, John Scott and Kevin Schwann, were held scoreless. And we've got a whistle inside right off the bat here. I'll run down the scoring unofficially for us here momentarily. The foul.
This has been an exciting game so far, Tim. That both teams have been playing exciting ball, although the Crabbers have not been executing like Coach Brower wants them to execute. As you pointed out, neither Swan nor Scott has any points, and that's given up a lot of points.
Baruch Harris driving the lane, picks up the foul. This one charged on Corey Stewart, and that is number 3 on Stewart, and he in fact was the leading scorer in the first half with 11 points. And now I believe we're going to see him come out because they can ill afford to get 4 on him early here in the second half.
Oh yeah, there's still much time left to go in the third quarter yet, and you've got to use that young man because he has been a very intricate part of this offense and defense out here for the Bruins tonight.
Baruch Harris was the scoring leader for the Crabbers in the first half. He has 9 points. The first one goes halfway down and comes back out.
Well, they're struggling at the foul line tonight. They're not making the number of foul shots that they did when we watched them against the Phantoms.
You have to be curious. You talk about, as we many times did during the football season, what kind of adjustments the coaching staff makes in the locker room at halftime. I'll be curious to see what adjustments the Crabbers make.
Well, I know one thing that Coach Brower told them is you better come out here with some fire in your eyes and better start playing a little more aggressive because you're being out hustled, and that's our game, and the Bruins have really taken us out of our game. And of course he wants to get some scoring punch from Swan and Scott.
This is John Scott, guarded by Swadley. Kevin Schwann penetrates, dishes it out. Crabbers being quite patient here. Schwann wants to go.
They're not letting Swan set it off, Tim. And he's not getting his three. He likes to shoot those three-pointers.
John Scott cannot connect.
4 Bruins underneath the basket that time to rebound, and that's why they ended up with the ball.
Scott guarding Swadley. And a foul. Kevin Schwann gets charged with his first. This is a player control foul. 11-point lead for the upstart Bethel Bruins. And they've got Jackson all alone. He kisses it off the glass. Chris Jackson with 4 points in the first half increases that total to 6, and now a 13-point lead, the biggest of the ball game. Baruch Harris loses control, and the Bruins continue.
The Crabbers just look like they're out of sync. They can't get their offense moving, and they're not generating the shots inside like they were before. Now there's a nice steal, and that's what they need, something like this to turn them around. But you got to convert, Tim. You got to convert on the turnovers.
So the Crabbers did it all well except for the last part, the more important part, and that's when you got to put it in, and they didn't do it. 12-footer, no. Inside, good hustle. Jackson, Bruins all over the floor. The Crabbers have a 3-on-1. Kiss it off the glass, and Aaron Johnson, who had 3 points in the first half, has 5 now. 11-point Bethel lead.
And that's what Hampton's got to do when they create a turnover, Tim. They got to go down and score, and that's what they did so well against Phoebus, is they scored about 80% of the time on a turnover, but tonight they're probably about 20% on a conversion ratio.
Jackson hustled but lost it on the baseline, so the Crabbers will inbounds. Paul Blackman will bring it across the timeline. He's guarded by Barner. Corner for Schwann. Schwann yet to score. John Scott dishes it off for Baruch Harris. Harris.
That's an excellent pass, Tom, because, I mean, Kim, it looked like he was going to shoot the ball, and he just dropped the ball off. And that's why John Scott is valuable, is because he does that. Now, we're going to have a little interview here with the Hampton cheerleaders. I believe, yes, AG is walking down that way, too, with a big smile on his face.
All right, AG, take it away when you're ready.
Pull it together, but we know that they can do it.
Okay, you got any favorite players out there tonight?
Yeah, Kevin Swan and Aaron Johnson.
You don't know his last name? Okay. All right, what do you think about the game so far?
The Crabbers have played hard all during the game, and I'm sure that they will continue to do so the second half.
Okay, down by 9, you're going to win it tonight?
We're going to win it. The Crabbers always win, especially Bethel. It's about time we show them who really is the best. And John Scott is my favorite player.
Okay, who's your favorite player?
I like all of them.
Who?
I like all of them.
Okay, the Crabbers going to win tonight?
Definitely.
Okay, good luck to y'all. Y'all doing a good job. Tim?
I like her comment. Crabbers always win.
That's right.
That's confidence, Tim.
That's what makes cheerleaders. You got to have that confidence.
That's right.
Tough job, AG, but someone's got to do it.
I don't think he heard you, but maybe you'll listen to the tape.
Crabbers get the steal.
Now they got the steal, they got to convert.
Schwann, nice dish off to John Scott. He didn't get the basket, but he was fouled.
Well, that's just as good, because now you got 2 shots, so you ought to be able to convert something out of that. That's what you got to do, is get your momentum. All right, the Crabbers scored 100 points the other night, 50-some in the second half. They've only got 29 points, Tim, and they played a full half and almost a half of another quarter and only have 29 points. That's really, I know it's got the staff over there with Walter Brower and his coaching staff worried. What can we do to get some points on the board?
John Scott finally gets in the score column. He'll get the second shot. So Scott finally has some points on the scoreboard, and it's a 7-point lead. The Crabbers whittling away at that lead. It was 13 moments ago. Got a man open underneath. Good block. First of all, there was good defense by Schwann, and then Baruch Harris came over and knocked the ball out of bounds.
Well, Baruch probably could have just snatched that ball out of the air if he had been more concentrating on what he was doing rather than trying to slap the ball. He could have probably picked the ball off right out of the air, Tim.
Traveling call on Jackson.
I thought, and most of the fans said it was a foul call, but evidently it was a traveling before the foul. Well, Hampton is slowly climbing back in this game. They're only down 7 now, and they were down 13 at one point.
Baruch Harris spins 14-foot air ball. Crabbers getting some hustle. That's what they've got to have. I'm sure that's one of the things that you mentioned Walter Brower said to his team at halftime. As long as you hustle, as long as you're moving, as long as you're always going after that ball, you can get back in the game. It's when you quit doing those things that you have no chance.
That's for sure.
Good play. Missed the jam, however. Kevin Schwann retrieves it. Ronnie Blackman tried for the jam, couldn't get it. John Scott gets the basket and he's fouled. So Ronnie Blackman, not one of the taller players on the court, tried for the jam and couldn't do it. And the basket counts. John Scott will go to the free throw line. The Bruins have called timeout. I guess AG wants to double his pleasure, so to speak. He's going to go down here and see if he can talk with the Bethel cheerleaders here while we have a break.
I think that's where he's going. If the camera can zero in down there, AG has got the Bethel cheerleaders. And take it away, AG.
Okay, Bruins going to go all the way tonight?
Yes.
Okay, y'all doing a good job out here. Is that the reason they're winning?
Yes.
Okay, good luck to y'all. All right, Tim, bye.
All right,
Tim,
we apologize. I had a little audio difficulty at the beginning of that.
You read my mind. There was a little bit of audio difficulty. We didn't get to see, but at least the young ladies got on camera there. That was good.
You know, a lot of people have made very nice comments to us about our coverage, and one of the reasons we try and get as much coverage as we can so that a lot of these kids can see themselves on TV and enjoy it, and the parents
and also so that the parents can see, because the parents can't come to all the contests, and I know a lot of times they can't come and see the cheerleaders, so this really helps them.
Schwann gets the long rebound, kicks it out. Blackman traveled.
Well, that was an excellent pass. He just took an extra step before he passed the ball that time. But they're back in within 5, Tim.
Very much in the ball game. The Crabbers have cut it to 5. They trailed by 13 earlier. Good move to the bucket by number 22, Kennedy Bland. He had 4 points in the first half. He has 6 now. And it's back to a 7-point Bethel lead. Schwann inside Baruch Harris. Yes, Baruch Harris having a real good night. He had 9 at the half. He's got 14 points on the evening, picking up the slack. Kevin Schwann still scoreless. And we've got only more than 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Tim, you keep talking about Kevin not making any points, but he is making a tremendous contribution out there. And as a former coach, one of the things I told my players was an assist is just like a basket, that you got to get the ball to somebody new. And that's what he's got to do. And Kevin is doing a good job passing the ball is the point I'm trying to make. And that's a very unpopular call on this side of the court.
Here we see our friends from WPEX across the way.
And they've got on, as the color man tonight, Boo Williams over there. As you know, we had a very opportunity to work the Russian and the AAU team last summer, and he's bringing them back again this summer, and I hope we get to do the coverage again, Tim. I'll let you announce all those Russian names. You notice that?
How about Roy Heath? How's that for a Russian? No, that's the stat man over there, a man who helped us out immeasurably during the football season with his help. Our thanks to him for all of the kind assistance we got from him during football season. 2:50 to go. From downtown, it's no good. Eric Hunter clears the board, speaking of football. Off the glass, no good. We've got a blocking foul charged against Peter Barner. That's his second.
Well, they got a chance to cut it to 3 points, Tim, and get back in this ball game. There's a lot of time left. You got a full quarter and 2 minutes and 43 seconds on top of that. So Bethel is have not changed anything, but it just looks like the Hampton Crabbers are taking advantage of some situations that they weren't doing in the first half.
Aaron Johnson connects on the first. 7 points unofficially for Johnson on the evening so far. He'll get the second shot. And the Crabbers have snuck back in, and we've got a whistle. Three-point lead for the Bruins. They've got Swadley bringing the ball up. They don't necessarily want him to. They want to get one of the quicker guards like Moody here.
He was bringing the ball up. He didn't have a man on him at the beginning. And then Baruch Harris came out and started checking him.
Good steal.
That's what gets Hampton back in this ball game. And now they've got to convert. They can convert, cut this to 1 point.
We've got a foul away from the ball. This is against Baruch Harris, I believe.
Yes, it is.
That'll be his second. So that's a costly foul there. It was away from the ball, and Baruch Harris apparently in an effort to get free somehow pushed off, and the official right on the spot, Calvin Thomas, called the play. Crabbers pressing and picking up on a man-to-man basis now. 2 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the third. 40-37, the Crabbers, and they make that a 5-point lead as Manfred Mooney doubles his scores. He had 2 at half, he's got 4. 42-37, the Crabbers by 5. Excuse me, the Bruins by 5. And we've got contact, and it's on Swadley. That's a tough call. Swadley looked like he was pretty well set, but kind of moved just ever so slightly.
Yeah, and the reason it was called is because he caught him with half of the body and not full force. And the Bruins are, the Crabbers are in the 1-on-1 situation where the Bruins are not yet. So I don't know how many fouls the Bruins have, or the Crabbers have had called against them, but everything from here on out that the Crabbers shoot is going to be a 1-on-1 situation. They will shoot all fouls.
Cedric Williams at the free throw line has 2 points, make that 3.
And they're doing something now, Tim, they did in their first half, as they are converting the free throws, and they missed a lot of free throw opportunities the first half.
Williams with a chance to cut the lead to 3. Can't get it to go. Bruins by 4 with the ball. 1:37 to go. Third quarter. Bethel looking to upset the second place Hampton Crabbers. Swadley has it blocked, but we've got a foul, and needless to say, Aaron Johnson doesn't like the call, and he's got to be real careful because they sure can't afford another one of those 6-point turnarounds.
They do not need another technical call at this point. If he calls a foul, you just got to accept it and go on. There's nothing. You can't change officials' minds, and I know that probably better than anybody. I have my share of ranting and raving and standing up with the chairs attached to me and everything. So
I'll tell you one thing, that rule has certainly changed the coaches' participation in a ball game. You don't even see or hear from the coaches in high school ball now. It used to be, every controversial play there was
used to be able to get up and down and stand, and you're not even allowed to stand up anymore.
They'd have to glue me to the chair because there's no way that I'd make it.
No, me either. I would be fouled out of a ball. Ain't no doubt about it. I'd be fouled out of a ball game.
Swadley connects on the free throw, and we've got a foul underneath the basket. Baruch Harris picks up his 3rd foul. Swadley gets the free throw, and the foul will send.
And it's a 5-point.
That's a possession
lead,
foul. Okay.
But that's not. It's a non-shooting foul, Tim.
So the point goes to the Bruins, and not only that, but they get the ball to inbounds. Leading by 5. Got a man wide open. Good block out of nowhere. Eric Hunter said, "In your face."
Oh, man.
He really came out of nowhere.
He really did, Tim, and he was a good 1.5 to 2 feet above the shooter.
So defense has gotten the Crabbers back in this game. It continues to be their entry into a possible victory. 43-38. The Bruins, clinging to a 5-point lead, have led by as much as 13. Good pass inside. Swadley.
That was an excellent job of knowing where the defender was. There was no defender on his hip, and he just turned, went to the basket, did a nice power move inside. It's back now to a 7-point lead. They had to cut the 3 at one time.
3-point try. So Kevin Swan makes his
way to come out of your slump.
His scoring debut with a 3-pointer and cuts the lead back to 3. Or check that, 4 points. Bethel did not get it across the timeline.
And that's just excellent man-on-man defense. There was no double teams or anything that time, Tim. They just did a good job of denying the ball down the floor, and there's no open passes. No open lanes at all that time. Now they've got to convert.
28 seconds, clock moving. John Scott. Into Scott, turnaround jumper, no good. And a big rebound for Corey Stewart. Stewart playing with 3 personal fouls. Desperation shot from the corner, almost went. And then as the buzzer sounds.
Well, that was knowing how much time was on the clock that time.
So there you see part of this big crowd.
Excuse me, Tim. That's only a 4-point lead now. They trailed for 12, so that means they outscored the Bruins that time, that quarter by 8 points, and that's one way to get back in the ball game. Now, if you do it again this second or this fourth quarter, that means you're going to win the ball game. But as you made the point, they got back in this game not because of their offense, but because of their defense.
Well, you know, that's just almost any time you see a team crawl back into it, that's exactly what happens. Their defense picks it up. If you don't stop hustling, you've got a good shot at it. But as soon as you give up that hustle, then you're not going to win the ball game. That's no great revelation on my part. 8 minutes is their time remaining. 4 8-minute quarters, high school basketball. Tim Cole, A.G. Womble, and Bob Hintz. We're here at the Bruins Den, Bethel High School. We will be back on the road, so to speak. Kickintan and Phoebus on the 9th of February. And I hope
that'll be a nice game, too, because both those teams are pretty well equally matched. Both teams are in a 1-1, Tim, so they'll both be shooting.
Should be a great fourth quarter. 4-point lead for the Bruins. Led at half by 12. Stretched the lead to 13 in the third quarter. And the Crabbers have slowly but surely cut that lead down to 4. Chance here to cut it to 2. They've got a 2-on-3. They give to Hunter. Hunter with that little running hook shot. Eric Hunter has 6, and we've got a blocking foul.
Oh, that was an obvious blocking foul. There's no way he was going to get there in time to draw the charge. But it wasn't a bad play either, because now he puts him on the foul line. Make 2 from the foul line. I'm not going to give you the easy basket.
Good defensive hustle on the part of Aaron Johnson. Paid the price, too, as he got underneath there. Craig Rainey with 3 points on the ball game will be at the free throw line with 2 shots.
That young man is just a sophomore, Tim, and he's a very excellent runner for the Bruin track team also. His name shows up in the paper in all the matches, all the meets that they run during the spring of the year. And I need to mention that his daddy is also one of the coaches over here at Bethel High School. He's the track coach.
4-point Bethel lead. From 3-point range, Schwann can't get it to go. It's tipped around underneath. And Jackson controls for the Bruins, and a foul on John Scott. Scott didn't get him much, but he got him. That's the 3rd foul on Scott. And both teams are over the limit.
Well, Kevin hasn't had too many opportunities to launch that 3-point shot, and I guess he shot maybe 3 or 4 of them tonight, and he's only hit 1, and that's probably about his average, Tim. But a 3-point play at that conjecture would have made a 1-point differential, but as it turns out, the Bruins are on a foul line shooting 2, and it could go back up to 6 points.
Chris Jackson gets the first. Jackson now with 7 points. At 4 at halftime. Torrey Stewart has been relatively quiet. He had 11 points in the first half, has yet to score here in the second. Jackson's second doesn't go, but his teammate hustles in the corner. That's Rainey, but his pass is picked off by Schwann.
Schwann did a good job of finding out where the open man is and just watched the eyes of the passer and went to the...
Baruch Harris had the ball knocked away by Peter Barner. That's Barner's 3rd because Barner got more than the ball. And Harris will go to the free throw line with 1 and 1. Baruch Harris has been the Hampton leading scorer in this ball game. Had 9 at halftime. He's got 14 on the ball game.
I'm just amazed, Tim. I look across the way and I see these two coaches sitting there with the legs crossed and not jumping up. I'd be going crazy.
Different breed
I'm
than
glad
you
they
or
didn't
I.
put that in and enforce it while I was coaching. That'd have been tough for me.
You know why whenever we introduce ourselves to the officials for the ballgame, I always say you're the referee baiter? Because I used to be the worst referee baiter. They threw me out of the Hampton Coliseum one night for getting on an ABA official. He deserved it, I might add.
Well, that cuts it down to 3 again. 7 minutes to go.
Good defensive play. I'm not sure which one of the Crabbers got it. Both Harris and Hunter skied from outside. The three-point shot doesn't go. You have to wonder about that call. If it goes, it's one of those things, oh no, oh no. If it goes, coach says yes. And if it doesn't, in that case, the coach goes groan. 48-45. They tempt him to take the shot. He pulls it up. He doesn't make it. Racing down the court, Blackman. It's a one-point ball game. Paul Blackman waited till now to get in the score column, and it's a good time. He gets that pass. He saved it. Schwann races the bucket. Left-hander, yes!
And they took the lead, Tim. And it is timeout time. The Bethel Bruins got to regroup. You've let them outscore you 12, 13 points here in the second half so far, and Hampton has taken a 1-point lead with 6:10 to go in the fourth quarter.
Kevin Schwann on the last basket. That's only his second basket of the night. And give credit to Paul Blackman. Blackman scored just before that and then got the saving pass. And the reason what I'm saying about that is Bethel had a poor pass down the court where the Bruins made a valiant effort to save it, and in doing so handed it right to Blackman. Blackman shoveled it down the court to Kevin Schwann, and it was 2 more points. Let me see if I can get the list, if I can, Bob, of when this game is being played. I don't know whether I've got it, you've got it, or AG has it.
When this game is being played is Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. and Thursday at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. So if you tuned in late and you'd like to see the whole ball game, those are the playback times. Monday and Wednesday at 9 and Thursday at 9 a.m. So the Bruins now find themselves trailing by a point. They led at half by 12 points. The Crabbers have not given up. Inside, Rainey banks it in.
They do a good job of breaking the press. Their press offense is just excellent. They find the open man and converted. Now this is going to be a seesaw thing. Now Bethel has got the lead.
Inside. Knocked away, and a foul is called.
Well, we get a chance for a timeout here. AG's got a Hampton Crabber fan that's been a fan for the Hampton Crabbers way back before you went to Hampton High School, and I see him in all the contests. AG, we get a break. AG's going to interview him here right in front of, right beside us.
Just to my left.
That's kind of alert to the camera crew so they know where he is.
At the free throw line, and I understand he was a former player for the Crabbers.
There's a missed opportunity. Eric Hunter had a chance to make 2 and come away empty-handed and get that first one. You got to convert on the first one on a 1-and-1.
Crowd is really into this ball game now. Barner to Mooney. Mooney calls the play. He's guarded closely by Blackman. This is Swadley to Craig Rainey. Yes. So Craig Rainey connects on a big basket for the Bruins, and they've stretched a lead back out now to 3 points.
Oh, he missed Hunter. Oh.
Kevin Schwann.
That is dangerous, dangerous.
Kevin Schwann ties the game at 52. And a 10-second violation. The crowd behind me here upset because the scoreboard was incorrect.
And it was. It had a 42-52, and ain't no way we're behind 10, says Coach Bauer. And they're not. It is a tie game, and now they got the ball.
tied with 4:44 in the ball game. Kevin Swan. This one is a little bit long. Good rebound. Aaron Johnson kicks it out. Got Baruch Harris open at the free throw line. Harris moving on Swadley off the rim. No good. Hunter with a big rebound. Fakes. And did he travel? Yes.
Well, it looked like it traveled. What he should have done is go up with that man in the air and draw the foul and get back on the foul line.
Inbounds to Stewart. Mooney says, I'll handle it. Rainey, and we've got a blocking foul. A touch foul, but a foul nonetheless. Aaron Johnson, that's his fourth. Several Crabbers now with 3. Johnson is the only one with 4. John Scott has 3, as does Baruch Harris. For the Bruins, they have Barner, Jackson, Stewart, and Swadley each with 3 fouls. But we're at the point in this ball game where 3 fouls isn't too bad. Rainey with the first of 1 and 1.
Oh, this is a tremendous crowd here tonight, Tim. Bob,
having a great time.
It's full with Bruin fans and with the Crabber fans.
Rainey looking to make it a 2-point Bethel lead. In and out, and it comes off to the Crabbers. Johnson finds Williams on the baseline. It's knocked away. Great hustle by Williams to save that ball. Johnson, it kicks out all the way. A long rebound. Quickly down the court come the Bruins. Manley, or rather Mooney, wisely holds up till his team gets down. Rainey to Swadley. Swadley looks inside. He's guarded closely by Baruch Harris, playing with 3 personal fouls. Overplay on the part of Johnson. It doesn't work. Mooney will pump it up. It doesn't go. Eric Hunter. And we've got a foul on Swadley.
Well, I tell you, there's some exciting play going on out here. Not shooting the ball, but I mean just diving for the ball. Just being aggressive and trying to get your team excited, get them back in this ball game. Both teams are just hustling. It's almost inexplainable. You have to be here to see it and enjoy this excitement.
Chris Jackson will replace Swadley. Swadley was incorrectly ruled as having fouled out, and then the official scorer corrected himself. I had him with 3 before that foul, so my total would be correct as well. 53-52. You can't ask for much more excitement than you've had in this ball game.
Well, that's the truth. Hampton has really made a game out of this. They trailed by 13 points there at one time.
Cedric Williams with 3 points in the ball game, and he'll get the bonus. He was almost across that free throw line before the ball went through. He
yeah, you got to watch that. We saw that happen a couple times in the game the other night, Tim.
Tied at 53. Williams breaks the tie.
And we have a timeout. And A.G. Womble has got a diehard Hampton fan here. So, A.G., if you'll take it away.
Billy Wood, who not only is a #1 Hampton Crabber fan, but he played for the Crabbers in the middle 30s. What about basketball back then, Billy, compared to today?
Well, back then we couldn't get our hands above the rim. And when you come out in a quarter, you couldn't go back till the next quarter. You didn't have the free substitutions that you got now. You got about 5 or 6 people play basketball. That was about it. Same way with football. You come out in a quarter, you didn't go back.
Have you missed many of the Crabbers games this year in football or basketball?
I missed a few basketball, but none of the football games. I missed one when we went up to Warrington. I didn't get to that one.
Who's going to win tonight?
Well, I'm rooting for my Crabbers.
Okay, thanks a lot, Billy. Billy Wood.
Well, we enjoy that, Tim. It's really nice to be able to have some people that have played for Hampton back in the 30s and are still following the team.
I understand you were his coach.
Oh, okay, Tim.
I got you.
That's the last time you get shrimp. From now on, all you go gets the tail.
The tail and the Snicker bar. 54-53, Crabbers by 1. Jackson's off the mark. Comes out for Mooney. He loses it, but it's controlled by the Bruins. Rainey looks for the open man. He's got Mooney. Baseline, we've got a whistle. And a lane violation.
Violation in the lane.
Boy, I tell you, that was one thing I didn't see. Not that it wasn't there, but I was watching all the other action.
Well, and really, to me, that's not Calvin Thomas's call. That's the under the basket official's call, but he called it. So
he saw it, he called it. 54-53. Crabbers actually lead by 1 now. There's seesaw back and forth.
They're going to make Bethel come out and play a man-to-man, obviously. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. They're running Barner back and forth. Because Bethel is sitting back into a zone.
And John Scott lost it, but it went last touched by one of the Bruins.
That's an excellent play. What the Crabbers were doing was taking the time, passing the ball around. It looked like they were trying to slow it down, and what they were in essence trying to do, Tim, was to get an easy shot underneath the basket. And John Scott had the ball knocked away from him, but that was an excellent play on the Crabbers.
Swan will inbounds. Baruch Harris. Crabbers move the ball around from three-point range, a little strong. You got to wonder about that shot selection late in the ball game like this.
Yeah, I know. Coach Brower didn't like that shot selection at all.
Corey Stewart.
That's the shot selection he wants. He wants that ball down like the Bruins did. They got that ball down inside.
Corey Stewart with his first points of the second half. Had 11 at halftime and has been silenced here in the second half. 2 minutes to go in the ball game, and we've got a timeout as the Crabbers want to talk this thing over with Walter Brower. I'm sure one of the things he might very well say is, hey, listen, guys, no three-point plays right now. We're in a tight ball game. Work it around. You got no shot clock. You have no reason that you have to shoot a three-pointer.
Right, and that's not the shot that they're giving you. I mean, they're going to give you that shot. I'm sorry to say, because that's a low percentage shot. What they don't want to give you is the ball inside. Hampton did a good job the time before of working the ball inside. They didn't convert on it, but that's what you want to do. And here all of a sudden you got out of the blue, a guy shoots a three-pointer, and he was being substituted for, and Coach Brower says, we're going to call timeout and get you out of here, and we're going to settle down. I'm going to show you what we want to accomplish out here, and that's why he called a timeout. And of course, on the other side of the ledger, Mike Bailey's over there telling these boys, listen, you guys doing an excellent job defensively. You've got the Hampton Crabbers on the ropes now. Let's keep them that way with our defense.
1 minute and 55 seconds, the time remaining in the ball game.
And you might see a switch here. He was in his zone, Tim. It looks like he's coming out in a man-to-man. And that's an excellent change that Mike Bailey did that time.
Johnson gets it into Williams. Williams pulls up from 8. Yes. Excuse me, Ronnie Blackman, number 32, got the basket.
Now Hampton's in the zone. And Hampton will play man-to-man most of the time.
And a foul. Ronnie Blackman, that's his second.
And Tim, that's a foul you don't mind as a coach, because that foul was a result of hustle, not of any dumb play. I mean, it was a hustle foul. You can live with that kind of a foul.
Sure, because if you make the clean steal, you got an easy layup.
That's right.
Free throw line, Barner. He's got 8 points. And make that 9.
Now you watch him, Tim. He'll get the ball. He'll bounce. He'll spin the ball. He'll take a deep breath, bounce it 3 times, and then put the ball up. That's what he did when he shot those technicals. There's just 3 bounces. He sits and extends from the knees up. Good follow through. That's an excellent show to show young people how to shoot foul shots. Do the same thing every time.
Bethel by a point. Harris, baseline, 8-footer, no good. John Scott puts it up. He's fouled and it counts. John Scott has not scored nearly like he did against Phoebus the other night, but he got a big basket that time.
Well, that was a very important basket because that gives the Bruins, the Crabbers the lead by 1, and he's got a chance to take them up by 2. With 1:13 to go, if the Crabbers can cause a turnover, get the ball, then you know that they're going to make Bethel foul him and put him on the foul line.
Scott has 6 points in the ball game. Baruch Harris had the rebound momentarily, and it's finally controlled by Stewart. So it remains a 1-point Hampton lead. 1 minute and 3 seconds. Mooney from 14, no, but he gets his own rebound. It's knocked away, battled inside. Who's got the ball? It's Harris and Mooney, jump ball. And the arrow of possession belongs to the Crabbers.
That was strictly hustle for both teams, Tim.
Walter Brower wants a timeout.
As he does. He's got the lead, Tim. Got 56 seconds, so he's got to tell them, okay, now this is what we want to do. We don't want a shot, no three-pointers, okay? We want a shot if it's a layup or an uncontested shot underneath. We don't want to do anything that would turn the ball over to the Bruins. Now, the Bruins, on the other hand, they're going to have to play real sticky, tough man-to-man. They may double team. I don't know what Mike Bailey will do, but they can't let too much time go off the clock. They're going to have to foul. And here again, you don't want an intentional foul. Intentional foul gives you 2 shots, plus you get the ball out of bounds. So I know both coaches are going over the strategy, what they want to happen in this last 56 seconds.
As a coach, Bob, how difficult is it when you're trying to explain this to young athletes like both of these teams? You know, you've got freshmen, sophomores, juniors out there, and you say to yourself, I've got the right information here. How difficult is it to get your point
They
across?
remember the last thing you say.
That's just what I was going to
It really is. I mean, the last thing you tell them, that's what they remember. And I'm not taking anything away from these athletes because they're good athletes, but there's a maturity process going on here too, game situations, and it's just a fact. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hampton's got 6 men on the floor, Tim. They got 6 players on the floor.
That is a new twist.
And the referees have not picked it up.
Unbelievable. And what's hard to believe is that Bailey hasn't picked it up either. Crabbers are playing 6 players, and now Johnson, Walter Brower gets Johnson off the floor. Says, get over here. I got.
Woo! What happened that time was he substituted for him, but evidently they called timeout, and the guy going in for him didn't tell him. So there were 6 people out there on the floor, and the officials didn't pick it up, and I don't know if Mike Bailey picked it up. But I'm out here counting. I see 6 jerseys.
They did now. Mike Bailey is now up and saying, hey, what happened here? I got 6 players on my opponent's team. It'd be worth a technical for me. Of course, not at this point in the game when you're losing by 3, but gracious me. And I would have had to get off my seat and said, hey, come on. The tape will bear this out, unfortunately, but it won't make any difference, I'm sure.
Well, now Bethel's got a chance to cut the lead to 1 here. Rainey's a pretty good foul shooter. I don't know how many he's made tonight from the foul line, Tim, but he's been pretty good.
You know, the scorer should have picked up on that too. I mean, he's got to be aware of how many people are on the floor.
He's an official score, and especially
he's got to know how many players are on the floor.
He's a Bethel teacher.
Well, it certainly goes to prove there's no.
I mean, you got to help your team out when you can.
Interesting situation. Rainey is good on the free throw line with both. Baruch Harris, and he's fouled.
That's an excellent foul. Rainey did a beautiful job of fouling him, not intentionally. Put Baruch Harris on the foul line. He's not been great at the foul line. They got only a 1-point lead, 29 seconds. Hopefully he'll miss the shot. Bethel will get the rebound. They can go down, make a shot, take the lead. Of course, it all depends on him missing the shot.
You have to wonder, with 6 minutes of play on the court there, you would have figured they would have been able to double team someone.
Well, they scored. They did score. I mean, you can't guard 6 men with 5. Oh, big foul shot. Big foul shot. That means they have to, a 2-pointer will at least, okay, Mike Bailey says, we got a timeout. I'm going to try to ice him. I don't want him to make it a 3-point lead, because then we have to go for the 3-point play. So if they can ice him here, then they can go down, make 2, tie it up, hopefully either go into overtime or steal the ball on the inbounds and get a turnover or something. But boy, this has been an exciting, I'm getting kind of hoarse, Tim.
It has been a good one, and the crowd has really enjoyed it. You see them, they're dancing in the aisles. They have truly enjoyed this game, and it's one of those tough situations. You got 2 teams that have played extremely well, and you hate to see one lose and one win.
I tell you really do, because they both have played excellent defense. I think Bethel has probably played the best against Hampton, and better than they played the first time, but they let Hampton get back in the game. And I say that as just a matter of, they didn't let them get back. Hampton got back in because they played defense and this sort of thing. But again, Bethel didn't play with as much intensity probably during that third quarter as they did during the first half, Tim. I don't mean to take away anything from both teams. Both teams have played well, and the coaches have done an excellent job. Okay, now they got to go 3-pointer.
They do have some time, though. They've got 20, well, let's see, 21 seconds. Doesn't go. Jackson with a big oh my gracious, Chris Jackson with a great big rebound. 62-61, a 1-point Hampton lead. Schwann wants the ball. He's probably one of the better free throws. And then a tough foul, I should say, as shaken up on the play is Paul Blackman. I don't think Moody had any, or rather Barner had any intention of hurting him.
That's a 2-shot foul, Tim. But I don't know if it's going to be an intentional where he gets he'll get the ball out of bounds too.
Well, as I said, I don't think there was any malice intended. It was just simply one of those plays where you try and grab the guy and get the foul.
I don't think it was an intentional thing. It was excitement. I don't think he meant to hurt the young man at all. I'd like to get one of the officials over here to find out exactly if he did call the cross arms, whether it was intentional 2-shot foul plus he gets the ball out of bounds. It's almost got to be, Tim. There was no doubt in my mind that it was an intentional foul.
Well, we'll see momentarily if Calvin Thomas or Rex Davis decide that it was, in fact, intentional.
I'm trying to catch the eye of one of the officials. The young man hit his head right good going down. I'm trying to get Calvin or Rex's attention. They got his back to us, so I can't look at him, but you can see there's 7 seconds to go. Score 61-62 in favor of the Crabbers. And the coaching staff is out there to help, to see if they can help the young man. Now, what they can do, Tim, if they substitute, they can bring anybody they want to off of the bench.
I think he's going to be okay.
Shot.
Hit that floor pretty hard, as this game has been played with great intensity. The level of intensity has been extremely high all night long. AG, while we've got a moment or two, maybe you'd like to comment on your feelings about tonight's ball game. Has been a really good one, hasn't it?
Well, no question about it. You have to give it to Coach Brower and the Crabbers for this big comeback, because they were down, I believe, as many as 14 or 15, 13. And they played good defense this second half and have to be complimented for their efforts so far. It looks good for the Crabbers right now.
And the Crabbers will benefit from the intentional foul. Aaron Johnson.
And he came in for the injured player, Tim, and he's shooting the foul. He's coming off the bench.
Johnson connects for both of those. And it's 64-61. Crabbers call timeout. Again, to continue, AG, I think you're right. The Crabbers did trail by as many as 13 points in the second half. Bob and I had talked about the fact that it was a great deal of defensive intensity on their part that really got them back in the ballgame.
No question about it. And I believe the Bruins made a lot of careless mistakes. I think Baruch Harris had a great game. Now we're going to try to talk to him if I can right after the final gun here. Maybe walk Coach Brower also.
That'd be an excellent choice.
Excellent thing, Tim, because AG, I'll ask him if you'll ask me, what did he tell them during the halftime? Because they came out and played with a lot more intensity the second half than they did the first half. So I'd like to know what he said to them.
7 seconds remaining in the ball game. The Hampton Crabbers.
I'd like to be able to tell the officials that they did an excellent job.
Always a tough game to call. And another foul, and now a couple of words expressed. Temper is a little short, as you might expect in a big rivalry game like this, but of course there's not any excuse for taunting an opponent in any capacity.
No, not at all.
Mike Bailey is having a little difficulty.
He's walking right hard to Calvin, and he called a 1-and-1. So I don't know what Mike Bailey is complaining about.
Well, they got their legs tangled up. That was certainly a good call, but then there was a little taunting on the part of the Crabber player after the foul was committed. And, Phoenix are running a little high. At the free throw line for the Crabbers, Aaron Johnson. He was fouled. It was a good play by Barner in the backcourt. That's Barner's 4th foul, by the way. Fairly academic at this point. 3 seconds. From way outside, off the rim, no good. And that's your ball game. Saw a good one tonight. AG will be looking for Baruch Harris out at the center of the court. And it was an excellent ball game. The Crabbers had to really rally from a 13-point halftime, or rather at least third quarter deficit to win the game. And Baruch Harris was certainly an instrumental part of this victory for the Crabbers. And we're going to go now to AG. And he'll
all right, Coach Brower and Baruch Harris, big comeback. Coach, what you would tell the guys at halftime, they played with a lot more intensity in the second half.
Okay, that was what we weren't doing the first half. We weren't playing with intensity, we weren't moving our feet, and we weren't boxing out. And I told them they had to reach back and get a big heart and come out and go tough on defense and gradually get back, and we'd be okay.
This guy scored a few points for you tonight. Baruch, your thoughts on this big win?
Well, Coach Brown told us all week long that it was important to outstrap their big man in the inside and get physically with him. And I think I did a good job on the offensive boards, helping score points for our football basketball team.
Baruch, when you were down by 13, were you a little bit concerned at that time?
Yes, I was a little concerned, but Coach Brown told us to get our heads up and to be confident on all times, and we'll win the ball game.
How far can this team go, Baruch?
We can go straight if we get our heads right.
Great game. All right, Tim and Bob, now back to you for a minute.
All right, AG, I assume you're going to try and find somebody else to talk to. We'll hold it here as long as we can. Run down some of the scoring for you. As you mentioned, Baruch Harris had a Super Bowl game, 18 points unofficially. Kevin Swan came in the game averaging about 17 points a game, came out of the game with 8 points, and all of those coming in the second half. 6 points for John Scott. He had 26 points against Phoebus the other night. He didn't have the same success, but he did contribute greatly to his team's victory tonight.
Well, both him and Kevin did a good job of passing the ball, Tim, and that's what you got to look for. Not just points, but if you create points by passing the ball.
Absolutely. Ronnie Blackman finished unofficially 10 points. Aaron Johnson with a couple of free throws to ice the victory for the Crabbers, had 10. 18 for Harris, as I mentioned, 5 for Cedric Williams, 2 points for Paul Blackman, and 6 points for Eric Hunter. For the Bruins, they were paced by Corey Stewart, who had 13 points. Craig Rainey with some big free throws in the second half had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Check that, he had 14 points. And Chris Jackson had a lot of points on the evening as well. He had unofficially 9 points, 6 points for Kennedy Bland, 11 points for Peter Barner, including a couple of 3-pointers, and 4 points for Manfred Mooney. Swadley finished the game with a total of 7 points. So, Bob, your final thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, Tim, it was a different ball game than what we kind of led to believe. We thought that Bethel would kind of walk the ball up. They didn't. They come out and surprised Hampton, jumping on them full court, double teaming, doing some jump switches on defense, causing some turmoil in their offense. They never really got their offense in sync until the second half, and they took an early lead, had a 12-point lead at halftime. I think Mike Bailey's did an excellent job over here coaching. Walter Brower coming out second half, he told the team, we got to start playing with some intensity. We're going to get back in this ball game because of our defense. Both teams played excellent. It's a shame that either team has to lose, Tim. 64-61. You know, that's a heartbreaker. Mike told me that he lost one game by 15 points and the other 6 games by a total of 14 points. So here you add 3 more points on this, and they've been in all the ball games. They just have come out on the short end, but he's got a lot of sophomores. He's getting a lot of playing time, and they're going to be a tough team to contend with in the future here on the peninsula.
Well, it was a really good ball game. The crowd really enjoyed it. At least half of them left happy.
At least half of them. Right there.
This game, the Bethel boys game, is airing Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Now, the Bethel-Hampton girls game is airing Tuesday at 9 p.m. and again on Thursday at 9 p.m. right here on Channel 29. So we thank you for watching. Again, our final score was the Hampton Crabbers coming from behind, 64, the Bethel Bruins 61. They improved their record to 12-2. Bethel falls to 5-9.
Yeah, before you sign off, Tim, let's give our crew a nice hand here. Scotty Bauer and Sam Still and Angela and Bev and
Jerome,
all these people do an excellent job for us day in, day out. We come down here, we got a kind of maid, so we come down and sit down, and they have to do all the work, but we want to give them special recognition.
All right, and with that done, we will thank our crew. For Bob Hintz, A.G. Womble, and the entire crew, thanks for watching. The final score, Hampton 64, Bethel 61. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.